You mentioned a good thing there too moments ago about approach. Guys' approaches might be a little bit different, might be better than they were in previous years, and I think that's another issue within professional baseball that coaches that maybe know the fundamentals but don't have the wisdom and experience that they need or they could pass along to players that help them with their approach. We hear that a lot now with guys who are coaches and gals, quite frankly, that are coaches that are very smart, know the fundamentals of hitting, and know the technology, but don't understand how to teach a proper approach. And maybe that's something too that is really hurting guys in player development. And when they get to the major league level, why we're seeing so many strikeouts.
Well, absolutely. So we have our certification training this coming weekend, and I think half of the guys are returners that are coming, guys that have been through certification, and that's what they really want to dive into. They're going to, that's the other thing, we can teach someone. I can teach a guy that's, he's an attorney. I can teach him what to look for and give him drills to create a good swing. But, the intangibles are, can we create a hitter that can perform in stressful environments, can perform when someone's trying to get them out? That's kind of the difference. So, that's why the certification is so cool, because a lot of them are dads and they just want to give their kids fun. They have a 10-year-old kid and it's like, I'm going to invest in myself to teach this kid the fundamentals of the swing and then let them go out and play and learn the game, by playing on a team and by getting a lot of reps. So, learning that approach, I think, yes, we talked about that in our player development series when it was like, hey, let's couple, our upper level minor league, double A, triple A with guys that have big league experience and that have that mindset. That was my dad's greatest gift, which not a lot of people knew, was, he did write a book on, the mental side of hitting, but anticipation. My dad had terrible, he still does, right? Well, he has new lenses now. They had to actually have his lenses replaced, but his vision was 2800 uncorrected. I mean, that's like terrible. That's Coke bottles. That's Harry Carey. Okay. So when he would wear contacts, the best he ever got corrected was like 2030. So here's a guy that never really saw spin. He never saw the ball come out of the hand. Sometimes in day games, he said he saw the ball a lot better. It was brighter. But he had to be smarter. I mean, here's a guy that had great athleticism, right? I mean, he played multiple sports. He was a good athlete. He was big and strong, but he couldn't see. I mean, that's why he couldn't play the outfield. They tried to make him an outfielder in Baltimore when they brought him up. He won he was the player of the year. I think he almost won the Triple Crown in AAA. He was actually the minor league player of the year. He went from A ball to AAA, skipped AA, player of the year in both leagues. They bring him to the big leagues. Boog Powell's playing first. They're like, Mike, you got to learn how to play the outfield. He's like, okay. So he goes in the outfield. He can't see the ball off the bat. And when the balls would get really high, he wouldn't even see them at night. So, I mean, he was a total liability vision-wise. So what did he have to do to compete and to still have a job? He had to be smarter. He had to cheat. And that's why when he got with Ted Williams, it changed his entire life, because Williams was all about anticipation. And he was all about knowing what that pitcher's trying to do. And so with today's technology, you can do that, but pitchers now have a better idea too. And pitchers throw, you hardly see a 3-1 fastball. I don't know how many 3-1 sliders I've seen, nowadays. That, it's a little bit tougher because pitchers are making adjustments and they have better game plans based on what hitters do. But approach is by far what keeps guys in the big leagues. When you have guys that come up and they have all the tools, great, but then they struggle. And why does it take players, 4 or 5 years to really hit their stride in the big leagues? It has to do with approach. It has to do with being involved in that big league game, being surrounded by other players that maybe mentor them and say, hey, what are you looking for here? How is this guy trying to get you out? Or having great hitting coaches that have that experience at that level that are telling you, hey, they're going to try to exploit you this way. Then you have to have the ability to make that adjustment physically. So it is that when you can find the right people that have the wisdom of, what's going on in this game and then can relay information to that player on how to make the adjustment based on what their game plan is, then you kind of have the perfect coaching staff.